Vernier video analysis. We're going to click on import video. You're going to go to wherever your videos are downloaded and you're going to select one. There are some that have a 1 meter long stick, and then there are others that have a 2 meter long stick. This is a much longer stick, so that's how you can tell. Like if you look at these, that one goes up to, you can see like 80, 90, 100. That one goes up to 100. This one has 20 marks on it, so it goes up to 200. So just be aware of that. But what you're going to do is you're going to grab the slider and you're going to slide it until all cars are on the screen. So right now I have that blue one on, but there should be 2 of them. And right there are 2 of them. So I'm going to back that up a little bit to be right here. Then I'm going to see that this is on frame 139. So I'm going to take that little arrow, and this makes it to where that automatically stops at 139. Or 141. So now it's on 139. I had to move it back a little bit. So that's the beginning thing. Then you're going to click System down here, and you're going to set a scale by clicking and dragging this to one side of the ruler and clicking and dragging this to the other side of the ruler. This is a 1 meter long stick, so I need to make sure that says 1 meter up there. If I'm doing that with the 2 meter long stick, I'm going to drag that same way to one side of it. And you can grab anywhere in that box and drag that to that side. And I'm going to make sure that one says 2 meters on that one. Once you have that done, you're going to click the origin. And you're going to change this. And I'm just going to make the left side of my meter stick the origin. That's that 0 mark. And then I'm going to adjust this to be going along that line. So along that meter stick. So that way it's lined up. Then I'm going to click the add button. If the track is highlighted up here, I don't want to track, I want to just do this. And I'm going to select, before I do that, I'm going to go into my options, my little gear down there, that little gear, and I'm going to change it to 10 frames. This makes it to where every time I click, like if you look at 139 down there, if I click, it advances to 149. It advances 10 frames instead of 1. Otherwise, I'd have to do 10 dots for every, I'd have to do 10 times the amount of dots. So now I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to keep clicking on this car. I'm going to click on the same exact spot. I like using these little headlight silver things because they're easy to see and they're small enough to where I can line it up and down and right and left every single time. You just need to make a spot that you are consistent on clicking. So you just keep clicking until the end of the video or until the car is off the screen. So the red car I would have already been done now. The blue car is still here. So I'm going to keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. Takes a little bit of time, but not too bad. You notice this is making a motion map. These little dots are motion maps. It's telling me a position and after a certain amount of time in a consistent interval, kind of like a time-lapse video. Once you got that first car done, then you're going to click on this white ball and drag it all the way back. And then you're going to choose objects down here and you're going to rename that. That was my blue car. So I'm going to name it blue car. If it was my red car, I'd name it red car, and then I would go into these and change the color to red. But since it's blue, I'm going to keep that stuff blue. And I'm going to add a new object. That object 2 is going to be called my red car, and I'm going to change that to red over here. That way my red car is red. And I'm going to make sure it's selected. If I select the blue car, that's blue. If I select the red car, that should turn red. If it doesn't right away, you might have to click off and click back on. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing over here with this red car. I'm going to click that. It advances. And you see my dots over here are lining up at the same as the video advances. So you can see the differences in these motion maps of these cars. These dots are farther spread apart. What does that mean? And you're going to do the same thing until the car is off the screen or until the video stops, whichever occurs first. And we already know that this car goes off screen first. So I get one more and then I can no longer click on that, so I'm done. So now I'm done with my video. And I'm going to click my data table. I don't need my data table on here, and I don't really need my video on here anymore, so I'm going to deselect that. I was just up in this little box right here. You can turn on and off the video, on and off the data tables. Over here, we can select this y-axis right here, and we have 4 of these turned on. X is horizontal, that's that left-right movement. Y is vertical, that's that up-down movement. I don't care about the up-down movement, so I'm going to turn off the Y's right now, and I just want the horizontal left-right stuff. So then I just have those. And that gives me these graphs. You can see my X blue car is that red line, my X red car, my left-right movement on my blue car, my left-right movement on my red car is that yellow line. Once here, I'm going to select this graph tools down at the bottom left, and I'm going to edit graph options. I'm going to add a title. This was my fast, slow buggies. So that's what I'm going to name this. Then I'm going to choose scaling, always show 0, always show 0. That way, 0, 0 is always shown. We always want 0, 0 to be shown. Now I'm going to click on Graph Tools again, and I'm going to apply Curve Fit. And I'm going to choose Linear because those are linear lines. That gives me my 2 curve fits of this yellow line for the red car and this red line for the blue car. And then I'm going to have my red stuff over here and my yellow stuff information over here. That's those 2 things. And then I'm going to add my equations of my line of best fit again by clicking on this graph tools in the bottom left corner and clicking add annotation. And my y-axis is my position. So if this is going to be for my blue car, I'm going to say blue car position equals the slope, which is from that red line data is 0.179. So I'm going to do 0.18. Rise over run units. The rise units are meters. I can tell by just looking right here. So meters over my run units of time, which is seconds, times my x-axis label, which is my time, plus my y-intercept value, which is again up in this box right here of 0.124. So 0.12, and that's when x is 0, what is the y value? That's 0.12, and again that's meters. So that gives me that one, which is my blue car position. And now I do the same thing for my red car position. I write that equation of the line of best fit. And you can see, again, the motion map comparing them over here. You can see the graphs over here that you're going to compare. And now I'm going to turn off my video so I can have this whole big graph right here. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to upload that screenshot over to here. And then I'm going to answer the information. What can you tell me about the car's motion from the graph? And explain how you know those things. So the blue car's motion is, the red car's motion is, the line intersection point is, and it tells us, so what's the value of it, and what's that tell us about the motion? And if we look back on the video, what does that mean physically with the video? It's all about, again, those physical interactions. What did we observe in the video? What's that telling us? What's happening? All of that information is what you should be able to tell me from these graphs. What physically happened in your video. I should be able to tell that by looking at the graph, not even having to look at the video. Hopefully that helps you do video analysis and get these problems done.